Hey, welcome to another episode of the Big Fucking Feelings podcast, where we talk about food, life, and the wildly absurd adventures in between. Today, we're diving into two things we know quite well, bagels and traveling with kids. God help us all. We also have our very first special guest. Who is she? Stick around and find out. Hi, Courtney.
Hi.
I've known this girl, Ashley, since she was itty. I mean, she's still kind of itty bitty. But
Sorry.
Still my, right, yeah, exactly. Okay, so first of all, let's do a proper introduction here, shall we? Because, and I'm not going to do some like weird announcer voice for this. I'm just going to simply say, for the record, that this is Courtney Chase, and she is a former child actor. Fun fact, she started her career doing Gerber Baby stuff. Gerber Baby. Isn't that amazing? Was it print or was it commercials?
It was commercials. I was cheek so rosy. I mean, that's the best fact I've ever heard about.
Isn't that great? Yeah, I was the Northern bathroom tissue girl. So that's like my version of the Gerber Baby. Not exactly the same. Like she was on One Life to Live for 2 years. Is that right?
Yes.
And then after that is when we met, because she played Kennedy on Blossom for the last couple of seasons. So it's Nick's new wife, Carol's daughter, and she did, by the way, a flawless English accent at the age of 6 years old. I don't know how you managed that, but it was perfection.
I think that my mother said, this is how you do an English accent. And I was like, no, Mommy, it's like this. And she was like, okay.
But also she's from Long Island. So the fact that you could do anything other than a Long Island accent anyway is blows me away. And then she played the leading role in the movie Nick of Time with Johnny Depp and Christopher Walken. So from Gerber Baby to Christopher Walken, I think that's like the best gap.
Wow.
Hollywood ever.
What a life. What a life.
Mm-hmm. And now got these two gorgeous boys, like they're just precious, and we all share being passionate animal lovers. I think we have that in common, all three of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she and her wife Rebecca live between like a million different places. They're always somewhere new. Every time I see them or talk to them, they're somewhere different. I can't keep up.
Well, where are you today, Courtney? I am in New York today. I split most of my time between New York and Los Angeles, but my wife is from Norway, so we do spend some time in Norway, and we also just like to travel in general, so around Europe and whatnot.
Okay. Well, that's cool. And I have a question, like an icebreaker type of a question. I hope that's okay.
Yay, let's hear it.
Looked up at Five Below. There's the silly plug for Five Below, where I always am with my kids, wasting time. But we're talking about travel, and so I thought maybe the best icebreaker would be to start with the longest unexpected trip you ever took.
Okay, longest unexpected trip I ever took. So I was supposed to, on March 13th, 2020, I flew out to go visit my sister in Virginia from Oregon, where I was with a friend for her birthday. And I ended up being stuck in Virginia for the pandemic for about 3 weeks extra than we anticipated. It wasn't really stuck because, I was hanging out with my sister and my nieces, and it was fantastic. And my son had his cousins, but we definitely didn't anticipate that we were going to be there for 3 weeks. And when we did make the decision that we needed to head back west, I rented a car, which no one was on the road because it was the start of the pandemic. And we traveled across the country. It was our first pandemic road trip. We did, in fact, stop in Nashville to see Jenna.
Although we waved from afar, it was like over the fence. It was so weird. What a weird time.
It was it was terrible.
Like, we couldn't give each other hugs. We were like, what is this shit?
Yeah. And, it was so new that you didn't really know, should you just break it and give a hug and move on? But we were good. We were socially responsible. And we drove across the country. It was the only time in my entire life that I spent 99 cents a gallon for gas.
Wow. Really?
in Oklahoma.
What?
It was wild. My wife was very nervous about us stopping at hotels as we came across the country. Plus, many were closed. So we slept in our car with our then 1.5-year-old, no, like 1-year-old Canyon. And or maybe it was 1.5. And it was wild. Absolutely wild.
Well, I'm still stuck on 99 cents for gas. Like, I can't get over this.
Oh, no, 99 cents. I'll never forget it. I took a picture of it.
You know you're like truly in the world of adulting when you have a full-on discussion about gas prices, and it's intriguing, you know?
Yeah. Congratulations, guys. We are adults.
We're officially adults. Cheers.
I want to be an adult.
Fuck being an adult.
To being a kid, man.
Ashley, what was your favorite? What is the longest trip you've ever taken? Now I'm curious about yours.
The longest unexpected would have been, it was weather related. It was a Christmas visit to my hometown in Ohio. And we had an ice storm here in Nashville, and there was just no way to drive and get back. So we ended up staying for like 3 weeks in Ohio instead of driving back after 2. So it was nothing as epic sounding as like a cross-country road trip, but definitely I appreciated the extra time with my family for sure.
That's very cool. I think ice storms are wild.
They are. And here in town, like, I feel like as a northern person, and maybe you can relate being from New York, a dusting is like not a big deal. If you get a little dusting of snow, it's like, oh, let's keep going. But here it's more like, no, things are shutting down. And I've lived in this house for 12 years, and this is the first year that we actually had a snow plow when it snowed, like come down our road. So I think resources just make it really difficult for people in the South, if you're south of Nashville especially. And so we just didn't brave it. And when I got back, there was still ice everywhere. Like, it was crazy. I don't understand.
The thing that kills me is that when we have any kind of snow, or even just the threat of it, it's really weak. Somebody can say the word and panic ensues, and the grocery stores flood with everyone getting milk and eggs, or maybe not eggs now since eggs are so fucking expensive, but that's beside the point. The bread aisle is just cleared out in 10 minutes because people are freaking out, like as if they're going to be eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for the next 2 years because we got a little snow dusting. I'm from the East Coast too, and so it's bizarre. It's a very bizarre thing. But then of course we lived in California where snow is such an anomaly that I did see it snow once in California.
If it rains in LA, when it rains in LA, because they do get a lot more rain now, it is as if people they no longer know how to drive.
Not that they know how to drive in Los Angeles to begin with, if we're being fair. Boy. Okay, we're getting back on track.
Yeah.
Wait, let me share my longest unexpected.
Yes, please.
Let me not fall out of the loop here. So not long in time, but long in effort. I took Marlo when she was a baby and equally sassy despite being much younger. I took her to California with me to go do the D23 Expo. It was like Disney Expo, right? Because I had done a Goofy movie and it's kind of become a cult classic. And we did a big panel, me and Jason Marsden and, Phil Farmer and everybody from the cast. And God bless one of my dearest friends, Robyn. She said that she would watch Marlo for me while I was doing this expo. And I came back, and I'm pretty sure I have scarred Robyn for life. Poor Robyn looked at me so harried, hair askew. The room was like, it looked like somebody from AC/DC had a party in this hotel room. And Marlo's just sitting there like, she hadn't stopped screaming the entire time. He was like pulling, tampon wrappers out of the trash can. Like every time Robyn turned around, Marlo was getting into something else, and she was like, I don't know if I'm cut out for this. Yeah.
Marlo is like birth control, really.
Yes, exactly. So like I said, not long in time, but definitely long in effort and labor intensive scenarios. Or Robyn more than me.
It sounds like you got off pretty easy on that.
I think I did, yeah. I think I did. Before we go any further, I feel like we need to talk about this important food product that we have on the show today. Because I have super strong feelings, first of all, about both of the subjects that we're talking about today, but I think we should start with the less crazy making one, which is bagels. And not just any bagels. I'm going to go ahead and interject here and say East Coast bagels. Like, I'm going to specify East Coast bagels. Now, Ashley and I are not having East Coast bagels this morning because we're in Nashville. But we are having, and I'm going to give them a quick shout out. It's a place called Mr. Aaron's Goods. And it's this little place they work out of a restaurant during the mornings in East Nashville. And they are really good. So, and they make bagel sandwiches, and I'm kind of obsessed with it. With that said, now we can go back to the East Coast bagel, which, Courtney, why don't you go ahead and explain to us what East Coast bagels are for those who don't really know the truth?
The New York bagel is really the only real bagel, in my opinion. I mean, I personally go for an egg everything bagel, which I don't think that anywhere else in the country makes egg everything. Maybe they do, but I've never seen them. Do you guys have egg everything bagels?
No, if we do or not. I have an everything bagel. I'll just go ahead and flash. I mean, I have an everything bagel, but it's not an egg everything bagel.
Well, egg everything, you get like the yellow, and it's very yellow. It's delish. You have to have it with cream cheese, of course.
Yeah.
I am definitely partial to New York bagels, 100%. But there are places in the country I've had a good bagel here or there. In Los Angeles, there is a guy in Sherman Oaks who makes, it's called New York Bagel Cafe. And he actually makes a very decent bagel. I don't know if it would compete if I had them side by side, but they're pretty good.
Sure. I think, and I think what makes an East Coast bagel East Coast is that it's crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside. You've got to have like that chewy. It can't be like you're biting into a loaf of bread. You know what I mean?
The pizza and the bagels, I really think that it has something to do with the water.
Because I feel like that is such a real thing. When I lived in Queens, like, the water was different and everything tasted better.
I think it's the water. And I almost think that that's what makes the bagel so good. Like, and you get that crunch and the doughiness on the inside. But yeah, New York bagels are definitely.
Well, cheers to New York bagels and traveling with children as little as possible.
Travel with my children.
I know you really do. As a matter of fact, before I take a bite of this, I'm gonna mention that I have a friend here with me that you guys don't know about, and it's not Bogart who's sleeping back there, although he is back there snoring as always. But the last time that Courtney and her wife and their kids came to the house, they left me with a friend, and this friend is making an appearance today on the podcast, Spider-Man, because inevitably when you travel with children, something gets left. No matter what, no matter how hard you try, no matter how many times you look everything over and inspect under the bed and in the closets and in the safety deposit box, and I don't remember where I found Spider-Man. I don't remember where he was, but I can tell you he's been hanging out with my daughter's favorite doll, Baby Daddy. Do you know about Baby Daddy, Courtney?
I've seen Baby Daddy. Is Baby Daddy here today?
I mean, I can go get Baby Daddy.
I think that Baby Daddy should make an appearance.
Because Baby Daddy need to make an appearance in our bagel episode. It's really monumental here. If Baby Daddy
is very important, and so is Spider-Man.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get Baby Daddy. I'll be right back.
They need each other. BFF.
They're like a couple now, or well, maybe not, because Baby Daddy is like a baby. But I don't know. It just got weird. Forget it.
We'll
just
cut that out. Don't worry.
Good one. Peace out. We don't need to go into that.
Baby Daddy looks beautiful.
Baby Daddy has one lazy eye, and legs. Oh well, I guess she's got pants underneath here. Well, that's probably good because her legs she's nearly lost both of her limbs. Her head lolls to the side slightly more than it should. Baby Daddy has been around for a long time and has her own Instagram page called The Misadventures of Baby Daddy.
Is it active again? I've been.
It's active again. Marlo like begged me to make it active again because clearly baby daddy deserves her own Instagram page. Like if dogs can have their own Instagram pages, why would this wonderful creature not have her own? I gotta put her away now. Yeah, baby daddy. Marlo named baby daddy when she was like 1 or 2, and I was like, "Are you sure that's the name?" Like, you don't want to choose like Rose or Lavender or something appropriate socially. But no, she chose baby daddy, and that name stuck. People. Oh, and she's got. I don't know if you can say this, but like close up, her ear is chewed because one of the dogs years ago got at her. Her toes are also mangled, like with dog bites on them. It's terrible. It's terrible. But
At least she has a friend now in Spider-Man.
Spidey, yeah, Spidey has been keeping her company. They've been hanging out. Yeah, so we're taking good care of him for you until you come back.
I love it. I'll come back soon, I promise.
Okay, I have a confession. I don't like bagels.
Wait.
I don't like bagels.
Why did you let us do bagels for this?
Because it's a thing. And I think that we need differing opinions on our show. We can't always love everything all the time. And it's a good bagel. I recognize that it's a good bagel. But going out to get a bagel and being intentional about eating a bagel, this is the only bagel I will eat in the next 2 years. I can guarantee you that. Like, I just won't. It's not my choice. It's not my thing.
Ashley.
Does that make me weird?
I mean, I'm questioning.
Everything.
I'm just questioning life here because wait, is it the carbiness and like the bagel itself, or is it that it just doesn't? Is it just that you're not in New York? Like, I feel like I have to rectify this situation.
Yeah, these are all great questions, Courtney. I feel like I love carbs. I eat bowls of pasta almost daily. It's not a carb issue. It's just like there's other things that I enjoy more. I don't know.
All right.
Real good bagel. Like, I really like that.
It's a really good bagel, and I'm bummed because I thought I had some scallion cream cheese, and it turned out that I didn't have any left. So I'm using regular whipped cream cheese. But yeah, I also am a huge fan of bagels with lox. My dad used to make like platters for us when we were kids of, bagels with lox and chopped boiled egg and, red onion and capers and tomatoes and all the things. And I love it.
Yeah, maybe that's it, Ash. Maybe you need to like jazz up your bagel.
Yeah, maybe I just am not doing bagels right. Somebody needs to take me to do a proper bagel.
Because I think that bagel and cream cheese is very like to the traditional way, right? But I just didn't want to make too much of a mess. I like to put like tomato, red onion, spinach, a little bit of bacon, right?
Sounds good.
If you jazz it up, then it's like more than glorified toast,
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I support bagel lovers everywhere.
I mean, I'm not trying to change you, okay? I support you. You can be who you are.
It's okay. I'll take this note and I'll keep my mind open and I'll keep trying bagels everywhere I go. And maybe I will have another one in the next 2 years.
You know what we might need to do is do a trip to New York just so that we can do a little bagel sampling. I feel like this is a really good excuse to go to New York.
I think that we should do that. That sounds great. I can bring you guys around New York City and we can get like all different types of bagels. And then Ashley will definitely meet her quota on bagels.
For my lifetime.
Exactly.
Oh my God. So what is it about traveling with kids that we've linked to bagels? Is it like a travel food or is it?
No, it's the alliteration of B.
It's just Jenna's reference.
No, what it actually is just because Courtney is from New York. To me, bagels in New York are synonymous, right? So I just figured it kind of made sense. And then bagels, boarding passes, buckle the fuck up. I don't know. All the things.
Done booze.
Booze and traveling go together pretty well.
I mean, it would have given me an excuse to drink at noon.
Oh my God.
You need an excuse though. Couldn't it just be?
Next time.
That's true.
Next time it will be.
You could have made yourself a mimosa. Mimosa and bagel seems like a
Bagel, booze, and buckle up.
right. Exactly.
Don't do that normally, because don't drink and drive with your children.
No. There's no drinking and driving. Let's clarify.
Let's just make sure that is not.
Wait, it was like buckle up from a life approach standpoint.
Wait.
Yeah, not like buckle up in the car and have booze simultaneously. Let's absolutely not. We are very against that. I have to tell you guys the story and this is not about booze, by the way. Non sequitur. I was flying with Gray when she was like 2-ish, maybe just shy of 2, to the East Coast to visit family. And I was on the jetway. And you know how like they make you wait for the strollers and the suitcases or whatever, but like your stroller always gets checked in the gateway. So you have to stand there and wait for it. So I'm waiting for it, and I'm at the front of the line, which is great. Cold out, but not like Arctic cold. I mean, I'm still known to wear flip-flops and drink iced coffee when it's cold, but it's chilly. So I've got bundled up in a hat and a coat, and I even had like a blanket wrapped around her. And this woman decides that she's gonna like yell at me, or at least proclaim loudly for everyone to hear, "Get that baby out of the cold air." Meanwhile, she's not offering to help me with said stroller or baby or my bags that I'm carrying, because I've got like my purse and a diaper bag and, child in my arms. I was zero offers of help from her other than this unsolicited advice. And I just traveling with children, that's in a nutshell how my anxiety about traveling with children that's like the perfect example for me.
Yeah. That sounds awful though. Like who does that?
I've been like, okay, do you want to hold her? Do you have a jacket for her? You want to help me out here? Oh, why don't you wait here and get her stroller?
Gosh, yeah. Give her a little dose of her own medicine. It looks like Jenna's.
Wow.
Are you still with us, Jenna?
Did we lose her?
That's okay. Yeah. Goodness.
It's wild.
Yeah. I might cry if that happened to me. I might just break down and cry.
Well, especially with the overwhelm, right? Because like you already have so much on your plate. Yeah, in that moment in time. And that's something that like I tell a lot of my friends, because I am a very seasoned traveler with children. I don't let the stress get to me at all. But in those situations, you really do. You need to just breathe, because you're not responsible for everything else that happens around you, right? We can only control our own feelings or our own reactions to the way that people around you, especially in airports, make you feel. So for me, I turn around and I'm like, okay, this is really, really stressful. Big deep breath. And I like walk myself through it. Like we just need to move past. But it can be hard.
It is hard. Traveling with anyone other than yourself is always hard, even if it's another grown adult. Like people have preferences and little quirks and things, and some people feel more important than others. And so I think that remembering what you're just saying is so important, because my God, like it just really puts everything back into perspective and helps you get to the final destination safely.
Because you're really in those situations, you need to become grounded. Because if you don't ground yourself and you're like, forget everybody else, like whatever, right? It's only going to raise that anxiety, raise that cortisol, and then the fun of your travel just disappears. I had a situation where, so I tend to be the person who shows up 1 hour before the plane takes off, walks through security. I'll get there. It's all fine. My wife is not that.
How do those people always find each other is the thing.
But there was this one instance that I was me, and we were going to Burbank Airport, which is a very small airport if you've never been. And I was like, we have an hour. We're fine. Well, we weren't fine because they had one TSA agent and the line was out the door, and my wife starts to tear up and she's getting very anxious, and we had a birthday party planned for our son Canyon the next day. And she's like, what did you do? And I'm like, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. It's fine. It's fine. We missed the plane. Now, even though I'm not anxious, I do arrive an hour and a half before plane.
She gained another 30 minutes.
But sometimes if I'm traveling with my wife, we could maybe push it to 2, or if we're traveling internationally, I'll allow it to be 2. But my pet peeve is sitting at the gate. I don't like that part. I understand why other people do, but for me, I'm like,
I'm with your wife on that. Like, I want to get there, know where everything is, grab a coffee, sit with a book, and just wait and know that I'm there. And I'm
Same. I have to be there early.
I know that it's yeah.
I love it. Okay, well, I have a fun question that I found when I was thinking about traveling with kids specifically. Like, I always have to bribe them with something to get through, especially if it's longer than like 3-hour drive. So what is the best road trip bribe that you guys have ever used to keep your kids from losing their shit? Mine is, I always would just like, we'd stop at multiple Starbucks just so that we could get a cake pop, and we would all have diabetes by the end of the drive, but it was worth it because we were not fighting.
I love it. For me, so my firstborn, Canyon, he's like an angel, and he's like the world-class traveler. I never had to bribe him with anything when it came to like our road trips. And we go across the country at least twice a year. And so we do a cross-country road trip. But I tend to say parks, like having a day trip to look forward to, like a good playground. And maybe it's more of a bribe for myself to get out of the car and get to go on a walk and be outside, and just, the dogs too. I usually travel with dogs. So
yeah, she brings one.
I love that. You're so great. But definitely parks. Yeah. We do stop-offs. If you're traveling during the day, 1 to 3 really nice parks, and I usually just Google them as I know where we're going. I don't do it in advance, but we have a lot of amazing gems that we've come across in America, like these wild playgrounds that, I've just happened upon. So that's my bribe, is like, all right, let's get 3 more hours in and we're going to get to this park. Make it happen.
See that I bribe the kids. I just make sure that I pack a lot. Like, we're very snack driven, clearly. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a podcast that included snacks every week. But yeah, so I always have plenty, copious amounts of snacks, and also just lots of stuff to do. There's just like as Gray was always a really easygoing traveler, super chill. She still is, just super easygoing. Marlo required a little bit more effort in terms of combating boredom. She just likes to, she does something, then she's done with it, and she wants to move on to the next thing, and you better have something to move on to, But for me, bribing actually, so here's my big, and this is actually more of a gripe than it is something that I've done. I've certainly never done this. But there was a trend for a while, and I don't know if it's still a trend, because honestly, I don't travel as much anymore. And I don't have young kids anymore to worry about with this. But there was a trend for a while where people were bribing the passengers around them. And it's like bribe bags. Maybe it was cool, like the first person who did it, because it was something original. And she was like, oh, hey, I brought it. Handing goodie bags out to your fellow passengers so that you can apologize in advance for something your child hasn't yet done is crazy to me. Like, let me be clear. I am all for common courtesy. I'm all about it. Okay. Please. Thank you. if my child is kicking your seat, you best believe I'm going to keep them from doing it and I'm going to apologize to you. But like, I'm not about to start handing out candy and earplugs as some sort of preemptive peace offering, you know? That's insanity to me. Like, traveling with kids is hard enough without the added pressure of placating everybody around you. And children exist. They make noise. They sometimes cry. That's life. Like, if the worst part of your day, if the biggest inconvenience of your day is that there's a child crying on your flight, man, you got it going for you. Life is good, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. I think that's a little over.
It's like people who throw these birthday parties for their 1-year-old that the child is never ever going to remember, and they're riding fucking elephants or something. Like, I just maybe I'm all about being extra. We all know this. I'm extra sort of gal. But like, that's extra on another level that I have no desire to attain and no business attaining, I think. You know, like, most of us have been through it. Grab a bagel, get over yourself, embrace chaos, join the club.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, and we were all babies once, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think for some people it's further away and they can't recall that. But like, even I'm always amazed by the number of women I see who are clearly parents, you know, and still get irritable about a baby crying. Like, how did you handle it when your kid was little? Like, we forget, you know?
See, I've had really positive experiences traveling with my kids, and I do it a lot. But the biggest thing that I see is that if you're open to allowing people to help you when you're traveling, especially alone with children, they will help you. And the right people will come into your area, because I like to take time, like, before I'm like traveling, and say, all right, whatever happens today, it's going to be okay. It's going to be great. I'm just going to breathe through it. And last week, 2 weeks ago, I traveled out to Los Angeles, and it was just me and the boys. Now, mind you, I told you all that Canyon is a dream, but Oslo's first cross-country road trip, I spent 3,000 miles with my boob over the car seat, because if he wasn't eating, he was crying.
Good times.
And he was a nightmare, right? So here I am with my newly mobile 1-year-old going to California by myself. I had to leave Rebecca here in New York, and I was a little nervous. I didn't let anybody know I was nervous, but I was on the inside, I was feeling it. And I got to security, and I had in my mind, okay, I'm going to get the iPad, the Switch, everything is in this pocket. I'll get my shoes off. I'll be able to do it all. Well, I didn't take into consideration that the baby was going to fall asleep in the ergo as I was in the security line. So as I'm going to take off my shoe, my baby almost tumbles out of the ergo because I had already unbuckled. See? And I grab him, and I look over, and this little old lady, sweetest face, says, "Can I help you?" And I said, "Yeah, can you hold this?" And I handed her the baby. We did not anticipate that I was handing her the living thing, you know? She thought she was going to help me with something else. But in my mind, I was like, what is the most important thing right now? It's the baby. So I handed her the baby. He was still groggy, didn't know this lady. I got my stuff out real quick. We got through security, and it was pretty much smooth sailing. And Canyon was a fantastic helper. But yeah, I couldn't imagine turning around, getting on that flight and being like, hey, just in case my kid cries, here's some earplugs, and
I want a lollipop. What actually are you even gonna give to people? That's gonna be, it's like they already hand out pretzels. They're fine. You know, they've already got a bag of peanuts coming.
No peanuts on toast anymore.
No, that's true. That's true. Right. Not allergies. I forgot about that. So that your story reminded me of, so I guess about, this would have been, you know, Gray's going to be 13. So this would have been probably 12 years ago. again, traveling with Gray, and I was in the jetway. Somehow all these things happen in the jetway. So this is my proof that there are good people out there who are helpful. As you said, it wasn't all bad. It was just, I have had some weird experiences, like the flight attendant who Gray had when she was like 3 or 4, had a cold, or had a cold, and so I had children's Tylenol or something, and she's like, "Don't you give that to the baby to make her fall asleep?" I was like, "Yo, give it to my child because she's got a cold. I'm not giving it to her because I'm trying to make her sleep during the flight. Like, what kind of weirdos do you deal with on a daily basis?" But okay, so I was in the jetway when Gray was about 1, and I'm struggling. Like, I've got all my stuff, and I don't pack light, and I've got Gray, and she's squirmy. Similar to what you said with Oslo, like she was walking, but it was still new, and so she wanted to get down and run around, and I hear this voice from behind me say, "Hey, do you want me to hold the baby for you? And while you get your stuff?" And I turn around, and it's Luke Perry from 90210, who had moved near, like, just outside of Nashville, and so both of us were going to LA. And I did. I handed her over. I was like, "Sure, dude, here." Like, Luke's not about to take off with my kids, so here you go.
Thank you. Thank my baby.
So Luke Perry helped me with the baby, which I really greatly appreciated.
Thank you, Luke.
Yes, he was a good man. He was
That's a good story. That's a good story.
That's very sweet.
Yeah. Okay, well, I know we're coming up on the end of our time with you, Courtney, and I have one burning question. And I want to know, what about traveling with kids as a mother have you learned about yourself that you couldn't have learned if you were traveling solo?
Oh, that's easy. Patience. You have to buckle in, and you have to just breathe. You're not in control of anything. So,
hey, you're not flying the plane either way.
You're not flying. You can't control whoever has come on the plane and is sick and coughing and whatever. I definitely cannot control Oslo. He is a feral little monster child. So I've just decided that if he's awake on the plane and he wants to go find another family for the hour, he can't get very far, right? He can't get far. We can travel up and down the aisle. It's fine. And just, patience. I have become extremely zen when it comes to traveling. And that's just because I'm not in control of anything. So I just breathe through whatever comes.
I love that. Jenna, do you have an answer to that?
Earplugs. I've learned to bring earplugs. Yeah, that's mine.
That's your mother. That's like what it taught you about who you are as a mom.
Yeah, that I deserve earplugs. That's what it taught me. No, I don't know what it's taught me. I mean, I would love to say that I can achieve the state of zen that Courtney's at with traveling. At this point, my kids are older, so it's not really a thing anyway. But it's more like at this age, we're in the phase of like, well, hey, mommy, can I go get a frappuccino? Okay, well, can I get a cheese Danish? Okay, well, how about a ham and cheese croissant? Like, somehow there's a book about such and such. Let's go get the book. And like, everybody's in a different direction, and I'm just trying to wrangle. And I like, how the parents who travel with their kid attached to a little
Like a leash?
a leash. I'm so against this. Let me just say, your child is not your pet. The child is, I don't approve of the leash thing, at least not for me. But at the same time, like, it does have merit.
For certain situations.
If your child
In the airport.
if your child can't if like one child's taking off that way and one child's taking off that way, and then neither of them can get past 3 feet from your body, that's probably not a bad thing. No, I mean, what it taught me about myself is that I really love solo travel.
Fair. At least you're honest. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that, like, I don't want to travel alone too, but yeah, it definitely teaches you a lot when you're on the road or in the air with kids. There's there's a learning curve.
Actually, for me, road trips are a totally different story, though. Like traveling in the airport and all that's just like a lot of drama that I don't love in general, whether I'm traveling by myself or with the family. But road trips have become kind of a really great thing for us. It's fun bonding time. We make playlists, a lot of Taylor Swift and Gracie Abrams happening. You know, we've got our snacks. I saw this meme the other day, and it was something about how like snacking on road trips is like you can basically get away with anything. Like you better pack snacks like you're a 9-year-old child. You know,
Yeah.
true. Like we'll leave with like a suitcase of crap to eat that we're never gonna finish eating. Like, when do I need to go to Buc-ee's and buy 5 bags of beef jerky? Like that's stupid. But we do it because it's, you know, it's like part of the road trip thing. It's the energy of the road trip.
And then you always have something. I think that is like key though. I think you definitely need snacks for a road trip. Snacks, good music, and if you're into it, a good audiobook.
Yeah.
It's on my way.
It's hard to find an audiobook that everyone is eager to listen to when you're dealing with like a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old and then 2 of us who are obsessed with true crime. Like it's a little bit of a tough sell to find things that match everyone's level of, you know, of life. Okay, then I have to ask this. Number 1 road trip snack. Ashley, you first.
I'm really basic, and I just like a good fruit that's dried, or a coconut dried. Like, I'm basic and boring, and that's it. Or that's where I go next.
All right. Courtney, how about you?
Yeah.
Goldfish are always in the car. I don't know if that's just because I can leave them in there and they're not gonna, you know, goldfish. I don't know. We don't have anything wild when it comes to snacks. We usually do pretzels, goldfish. Oh, dried strawberries are a big hit for us. We probably go through at least 15 bags of dried strawberries across the country, you know. Got to hit Trader Joe's before you go. No, that's it. We just snacks. How about you guys? What's your go? The beef jerky?
Well, no, but I do always, you know, that's like a stop on the trip. It's, you know, it's always a fun thing to get. For me personally, I like to snack on like spicy Cheetos, like the flaming hot chips or flaming hot Cheetos. I'm big on that kind of stuff. With my girls, it's always just like chocolate, and more chocolate. And then, you know, 90% of the time, halfway through the road trip, somebody sat on chocolate. The chocolate has melted in the back seat and it's all over everything. And it looks like someone took a crap back there. Like, you know, it's fun. It's all fun.
Yeah, like how do you guys stay clean during road?
We don't. There's no staying clean.
See, for me, like I have like I put 2, so for the dog area, like of my car, so I'll put a blanket down and then another blanket down, because at least once through the trip, something's going to happen. There's going to either be a spill that occurs or, you know, dog's grossness, who knows. So I'll pull it. But by the kids, always have like little kits of cleanup, like a trash thing and like wipes, because as long as you have multiple trash bags in the little thing that you're going to use as your trash, then it doesn't get too out of control. But by the end of it, it always looks like a trash can anyway. So
I feel like for us, the worst thing at this point, like my biggest gripe with my kids is that Marlo has, like, for some reason, unbeknownst to me, there is always a cup holder in her car seat because she's still in a booster. Like, there's a cup holder filled with like Band-Aid wrappers. As if we've been doing some sort of arts and crafts project in the back with Band-Aids. It's terribly confusing for me.
where did the Band-Aids go?
Like on her body. I think she just likes to play with them. I don't know. It's very bizarre.
An accessory for her is what it is.
It is. It's a way to express herself. You know, just one more. The ones that she has right now are glow in the dark. So she's just expressing herself. That's that. Well, okay, listen, I got to tell you before we go that Spider-Man wants to say goodbye and that he misses you guys.
Down to be Spidey.
Yeah, please come back soon and visit him.
I will. Guys,
Yeah.
did we ever take a bite of our bagel?
I took a bite of my bagel.
I did take one. I'm going to do another. But while we do this, Courtney, there anything that you're celebrating right now or looking forward to that you want to plug or promote at all that you want to, with your full mouth, talk about?
I decided to take the bite because I didn't hear what you said.
Okay.
It's my birthday weekend.
Happy birthday.
My birthday is in a couple of days. But I am in the process. I can't really say much about it because, well, I wanted to have things like really going before I like unveil it. But I am in the process of making a nonprofit organization that is going to be helping animals and people. But I can't really say much about it. So I don't, it's like a shameless, like, can't stay tuned.
You'll just have to come back and talk about it when it's going full.
Yeah.
Good for you. That sounds awesome. Thanks for doing that very important work also, because I know that's not an easy thing to get established and get going, and you're doing it, and it sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun, and I hope that it makes a difference in some way. So
you're such a cool person. Thank you for joining us today.
Much for having me.
Thank you for indulging us with the bagel conversations, and good luck on your next couple of trips with your children.